Hi, welcome to all. And today is my topic, the questionnaire. Very interesting. The step of research. There are the one of very interesting. My second video about the research and prepare how to step by step when you will read and when you will structure in your research. The questionnaire is very important. The structure, survey and interview employ the use of questionnaires, and a questionnaire is consists of a set of questions and presented a lot of there the response for answer, and respondent read the question and interpret what is the aspect and when write down and their answer themselves, and it is called the interview schedule. And when the researcher asks the question and basically it is necessary and record the response and rely on the interview schedule. And because there are many ways to ask the question, the questionnaire is very flexible for research, and questionnaire should be developed and tested carefully and before being used on the large scale. If you are new, must subscribe my channel and press bell icon. There are the many videos for research related, and also their competitive exam, NTA NET, UPSC, PSC also. And there are three basic types of the questionnaire is very important. You see, they are closed and ended. Once again, they are closed and ended, and open and end, and also combination of the both. Very interesting. There are three basic types of the questionnaires. And number one, the closed and ended questionnaires. What is the closed and ended? Basically, closed ended question include the all possible answer and pre-writing response categories, and response are asked to chosen. Among them, there are the multiple choice question and scale questions, and this type of question used to generate statistics in the quantitative research. And also as this follow a set format, and most response can be entered easily into a computer for easy analysis, and greater number can be distributed. So it is very interesting, and the close and ended questionnaires. And also I explained there number two, the open-ended questionnaires. Basically, open-ended questionnaires allow response to answer in their own words, and questionnaire does not contain box to click, but instantly leave a blank section for the ratio and write in the answer also. And whereas the closed and the end questionnaire might be used to find out how many people use a service, and also there are the open-end questionnaire and might be used to find out what people think about a service. And as there are no standard answer to this question, and data analysis is more complex and very, as it is option which should rather than the number, and also fewer the questionnaire need to be distributed. It is very interesting, and must you will see there are the interesting their open-end questionnaire, and also their number three, their combination of the both. What is the combination? Basically, this way is it is the possible to find out how many people use a service and what they think of the service in the same form, and beginning with the service of the close and ended questionnaires, and with boxes to tick or scale or rank, and finish with the section open and ended question or more detailed response. This is very important. And here, how to construct the questionnaire. Very interesting on this topic today my lecture, how to construct the questionnaires, and the deciding that which questionnaire to use. Basically, there are the deciding two types, the close or open, and self or interview administration. And running the structure of the questionnaire, basically questions should be kept short and simple, and avoid the double barrier. And also there are two questions in one, and ask two questions rather than one, and avoid the negative question, and which have not in them. It is the confusion question, and for response to agree or disagree. So it is very important, must you will remember. And questions should not contain the prestige views. Basically, they're causing embarrassment and harassment type of question. For don't there the avoid, and give false answer and the serve as the question about the educational qualification, income, might the type of response, and use indirectly question for sensitive issues, and the indirect question respond and can relate their answer to open their people. And using close and end question is very interesting. They are try to make sure that all possible answers are covered, and so that response are not considered is there the answer, and do not know and category also needed to be added, avoiding the leading the question and do not lead their response to answer in a certain way. And how often do you was your car, and assume that the respondent has a car and her was his car, and interest there the ask filter the question to find if he has a car, and then if you was your car and how many time a year. That is the question type of the varieties. And the length and ordering the question, such as the keep the questionnaire as short as possible, ask easy question, and which response will enjoy the answering. And if combine the questionnaire is keep open and the question for the end, and make the question as the interesting in the possible as well as easy, followed by varying types of the length of question. And also the group there are the intro and the specific topic as they are the make easier and the understand and follow. And layout and the spacing is the important as cluttered, and also questionnaire is less likely and to be answered. And plotting the questionnaire, and once you have constructed and that your questionnaire, you must file audit, and this means, and this is that you must test it out or see if it is the obtaining the result you required. And this is done by asking people to read and through and see if there are any process which you have not noticed. And the question also be asked to comment about the length and structure and the word of the questionnaires, although their questionnaires accordingly arranged. And also their step, their collection of the data, it is very important on this step, and having the formulated the research problem. It is the research step, and the main step of the research, they are collecting one of another. Also my video they are design preparing, and also the collecting data is very important. Develop a study design, construct a research instrument, and selected a sample, and you then collect the data from which you will draw the inference and conclusion of your study. And depending upon your plan, and you might commence the interview mail out of the questionnaire, conduct the experiment, and also make observation. And collecting data through any of the methods may involve some the ethical issue, and in the relation to the participant and the researcher also, those from whom information is collected or those who are situated by a researcher become participant of the study. And anyhow, anyone who collect the information for a specific purpose, their adhering to the accept code and the conduct and the researcher ethic issue, all they are the ethical issue. And concerning research participants also, there are many ethical issues in the relevant relation to the participant of the research activities. It is the collecting information basically depend there your request for information may put pressure or the create next in the respond, and it is the ethical. And research is required to improve the condition, and provide any piece of research is likely help society directly, indirectly. It is the acceptable to ask the question if you first obtain the response and inform the constant. If you cannot justify the relevance of the research you are conducting, you are wasting your respondent and time, which is unethical. And the second constant basically there are it very discipline, and it is the considerate unethical, and to collect the information without the knowledge from the participants, and they are express the willingness and inform the constant. And also why the information is being sued, and what purpose it will be put to, and how they are expect to participate in their study, and how it will directly and indirectly affect them. And it is important that the constant should be voluntary and without pressure of any kinds, and providing there are the incentive. Most people do not participate in a study and because of incentives, but because they realize that the importance of study, it is the ethical to provide insight into respondent to share information with you because they are giving their times, and giving the present before data collection is unethical. Basically checking the sensitive information, certain types of information can be regrets as the sensitive or confidential by the some people, and thus invention of their privacy. Asking for such information may upset or embarrass and respondent. It is very important for most people. Questions on the drug uses and such as income and age and material status and etc. There are collecting data. You need to be careful about your sensitive of your respondent. Basically depend on your topic, which topic in your research, and it is not unethical to ask the question provided that you tell your respond, and that type of information you are going to ask clearly and frankly, and give them the sufficient time to decide if they want to participate, and without any major endowment in argument and the possibilities and causing them the harm and participant. When the collect basically data from respond or involve the subject in the experiment, and you need to examine carefully, and whatever there are the involved is the likely harm them in the any way, and harm include a research that might include the hazardous experiments, discomfort, and there are the harmsment, harassment, investment, the privacy, and they determine there are the different type of categories, and you must make sure that the risk is the minimal and the extent of the harm or the discomfort and is not greater than the ordinarily and encountered in daily life. And if the way information is sought out, create there are the different type of questionnaire and maintaining their confidentially, which is important. There are the maintaining basically sharing information about respond with other for purpose other than research is unethical. Sometimes you need to identify your study population to put your finding into context. In such a situation, you need to make sure that at least the information provided by respondent is kept anonymous. And basically there are the ethical issue relating there the researcher avoiding the bias. Basically part of research the unethical, and basically sometimes there are the problem and provision and determination their treatment, and both of the provision and permission and treatment also including their treatment that has not yet been the conclusively, and provide also must will analysis there what is the benefits, what is the related, and also how can elaborately explain. And there are no simple there answer these the delimitants, and also there are the uncommon and minimum risk, and there are the fragment decision, and also the discussion implication and participation in the study will help to resolve ethical issue. And using in approach and the research methodology, it is the unethical to use the method or procedure to be inappropriate. So it is very interesting, and incorrect reporting is very important related to the report or findings in the way, and that change or silent them on the surf and or someone else there are the interest, and also there are the inaccurate use in the information, it's very important, and also there are the use information in a way and that directly and indirectly adversely affect, and there are the also response in the unethical. If so, that study population need to be the protected, and someone it is the possible the harm individual process of the achievement benefits. And also there are the very interesting also there are the process and analysis the data. It is very important process and analysis of the data. and I explained there are the some interesting editing, classification, there are the also piloting questionnaire, and also there how to construct the questionnaire, and also there are the piloting the questionnaire, and also there are the data analysis method and qualitative data analysis, and also there are the step, basically identify the main themes, assign the code of the main theme, and classify the response under the theme and the integrate theme and the respond into the text of your part. And also there are the quantitative data analysis is very important, their process of data analysis. There are the editing, data analysis the process, there are editing and classification, and also there are the sample classification, and also there are the quantitative data analysis, there are the identify the main themes, assign the code the main themes, and classify the response under the main theme and indirect theme and the response into the text of your report. And also quantitative data analysis, this is very important and very important. Today's my lecture, must carefully listen, and if you are new, must subscribe my channel and press bell icon for another new notification. So there are the data processing, and also very important, there are the editing, a process of examining the collect raw data and direct error and the omissions and the correct answer possible. And also their classification, it's very important, the process arrange the data and group or classes on the base of common character, that depending on the nature phenomena, such as the classification according to attributes basically, and their data is analysis on the base of common character, such as the describe, such as literacy, sex, religious, and numerical, such as the weight, height, income. And such classification can be either sample classification, where we consider only one attributes and divide the answers into the two classes. One class is considering the item processing and given attributes, and their class consisting on the item which do not process the giving attributes. And very interesting, there is the man-fold classification, there we consider two more attributes, and also there are the classification coordinate, and also class there the identify the relating income, age, weight, traffic, production. Also such the quantitative data are known as the statistics of variables and classified also. And also there are the tabulation is very important. Now the tabulation is process of summarizing raw data and displaying the same in the compact from the further analysis, and it is orderly arranged and to their column in the row. Tabulation is essential because a conserve phrase and reduce the explanatory and describe the statement to the minimum, and also it is facilitate the process of comparison, and also it is the facilitate the summation, and also the detection error and the permission, and also provide there the basis for various statistical components. And tabulation may be also be classified some sample and complex the tabulation. The simple tabulation generally result in one way table and which supply answer to question and that about the characteristics of data also. And complex tabulation usually result on two-way tables, and basically which give information about two interrelated characteristics of data. And three also their way of table or still higher order table, also known as manifold table. Basically data analysis method, there are the qualitative data analysis. So basically there are the qualitative data analysis is a very personal process and with few rules, and for the purpose and researcher need to be through process called their content analysis. And content analysis means their analysis of the content of interview in order of identify the main theme, and that emerge the form response and when they are respond, and this process involves a number of steps. And there are the one step, the identify the main theme. Basically when you start, the researcher need to clarify and go through the descriptive research and given by the respond and to ask the question in order to understand and the meaning they communicate, and from this response the researcher develop the word, and people use the different words and also language to express and themselves. It is important that researcher select wording the same way, and actually they are processing. And number 2, they step the assignment code to the main theme. It is the researcher want to count the number of times and them has occurred in the interview, and he need to select a few response and to an open end and question and identify the main themes, and he continue to identify these themes from the same question till a saturation point is reached, and write these themes and assignment and quote is the theme using the number of keywords. And very interesting, the step 3, classify response under the main themes, and having the identified the themes, next step is to go through the transcript of all the interview, all classify the response under the different themes. And integrated themes also very important. They are integrated themes and response into the text of your report, and having the identified response and what fall within the different themes. And the next step is the integrated into the text of your report, and while the discussing the main themes that emerge from there the study, some researcher use a verbatim and the response to keep their field, and also response there are the other who count down and how frequently a theme and has occurred, and then the provide of sample. And quantitative data analysis is very important. There the data can be manually or help in the computer. Manually data analysis, basically this can be done if the number responsible small and there are the not many variable analysis, and however this is usually only the including calculating frequency and for the sample cost tabulation. And manual data analysis is extremely time consuming, and the easiest way to do this, it is the code and directly one large graph paper in the column, and detailed headlines can be used and question number can be written, and another column to code information about the question, and manually analysis data and count various codes of the column and then the decide. And also data analyzing use the computer, it is very important. There are the, if you want to analyze this data using the computer, you should be familiar with the appropriate program. In this area, knowledge of computer and statistics play an important role. The most common software such as the SPSS for Windows, and also however data input can be long and laborious process also, and if data entered incorrectly, so that definitely result will be fail. It will be influence the final result, and also is very helpful. SPSS must will use. And today's basically my class there are the complete, and thank you to all. Must will follow, must will share, and if you are new, must will subscribe my channel and must will join my another video. Thank you to all.